Let's do it.
It's the WIP Afternoon Show's Mount Rushmore Week.
So today is the Phillies Mount Rushmore. We'll also give you 3 more as the show goes on, 30 past every hour. This is what you voted on at 94WIP.com/Rushmore. So here we go. The official Phillies Mount Rushmore as determined by WIP listeners. The first spot, Mike Schmidt.
Okay.
That's a no-brainer.
That is not necessarily in order.
Right.
But that was most voted on, right?
Yeah. Schmidt did get the most votes.
He won the top votes. I got you.
Yes.
Okay. I got you.
Number 2 spot on the Phillies Mount Rushmore, Steve Carlton.
Good choice.
Good choice. Lefty. The 3rd spot on the Phillies Mount Rushmore goes to Chase Utley.
Chase.
And the 4th spot, I can't believe people did this. I don't know how many times Jack voted. The 4th spot on the Phillies Mount Rushmore, this is of all-time Phillies, is Bryce Harper.
Oh, what do you mean? You know, people. You can't believe people did this.
Bryce Harper should not be on the Mount Rushmore ahead of Jimmy Rollins. He shouldn't be on the Mount Rushmore ahead of Ryan Howard. And here's championship aside, here's why I would say, when you are carving a face into Mount Rushmore, it is forever.
Yeah.
Bryce Harper's career, though I hope it goes well for the next 6 years, like if I told you in 3 years, the Phillies had won 78 games for 2 straight years. And Bryce Harper's like, get me out of here.
Yeah.
Demands a trade.
Yeah.
Wouldn't we feel embarrassed having put him on the Mount Rushmore without a championship, with the career? He's only played here, 5 years?
Yeah.
He can't be on the Mount Rushmore yet. I respect everyone's vote, but he can't be on the Mount Rushmore yet.
Yeah, we should be embarrassed by this, that he's on Mount Rushmore. But it has mostly to do with people's feeling for the current team and him right now. You know?
I just can't. Ahead of Rollins?
Yeah, I mean, listen, he wouldn't. I could see Bryce Harper being on the Mount Rushmore of the Phillies. Like, think about it. When you think about the Phillies, are you telling me that Bryce Harper isn't one of the greatest Phillies that you've watched play?
I would say at his peak, he is one of the best Phillies that I've watched play.
Yeah.
But again, when you're putting someone out on Mount Rushmore, it is forever. His story is not completely written here yet. It involves no championships.
Sure.
And it could go, I don't think it will go the wrong way, but certainly in sports, these things change very quickly. It's not impossible that his career goes the wrong way, and we looked at like that was a fun moment, but not an all-timer. We know for sure, no matter what happens, Jimmy Rollins is an all-timer. We know for sure, no matter what happens, Ryan Howard is an all-timer. We know for sure, no matter what happens, that Cole Hamels is an all-timer, that Richie Ashburn's an all-timer. I just...
Chuck Klein.
With all due respect...
Ed Delahanty.
With all due respect, Robin Roberts. With all due respect to Bryce Harper, I can't get there. Not yet.
Yeah, no, listen, I hear you. Listen, he's not on my Mount Rushmore, but I'm saying I could see the argument for him being on the Mount Rushmore, and I could see how people voted him to be on the Mount Rushmore.
Jack, your position?
This is, I feel like I'm starting to heal back here because it's good to see people get this right. The Phillies have only had 3 really good runs in their franchise's history.
Yep.
I mean, again, not great. 1883,
sure,
2 championships, and he's the face of this run. The
other 2 runs have championships, though.
Schmidt and Carl, I know,
okay.
But this is also, again, there's not many championships within there's 2.
I know, but
there's 2.
the other. So the first run has 2 players on the Mount Rushmore. The first run, and the second run only has 1 player, and the third run has not won a World Series.
Okay, they've been to the World Series. They've had good runs. He's won an MVP. He deserves to be on there. He is when you think of Phillies Mount, you keep this doomsday scenario. 2 years from now, he's never going to ask out. Like he's not going to ask out. No,
he absolutely
he's not going to ask out. He wouldn't do that. So you have the faces of the Phillies.
Yeah,
Bryce Harper deserves to be on there
over Jimmy Rollins.
Yeah.
No, not over Jimmy Rollins. Don't be silly.
Do you have yours?
I do.
Okay. What is it?
I got Schmitty.
Yep.
I have Ryan Howard.
Yep.
I have Jimmy Rollins.
Yep.
Then I was battling between Chase Utley, Lefty, and Bryce Harper.
And you wound up with?
I wound up with Chase Utley.
Wow, so 3 from the '08 team.
Yeah.
Before the show, you were saying you were going to put Dick Allen on there.
Yeah, I was. I decided to go with 2 other brothers and put them on there. Yeah, so I didn't use Dick Allen.
Wow.
Yes.
I can't believe.
Man, that's strike 2 for you today, too.
Yeah.
Just so you know. That's strike 2.
I can't believe you kept Lefty off for 3 off the '08 team.
Well, here's the thing with Lefty.
Yeah. Didn't watch
Did
him.
not see Lefty pitch.
Fair enough. Yeah. Fair enough.
Did not see Lefty pitch. Know how great he is. Know about the innings. Know about the wins. Know about all of it. I got it. 27 wins in a season. They
Yep.
only won 54 games all year. I know. I got the whole history lesson.
But didn't see it.
Didn't watch him play.
Fair
Schmidt,
enough.
I watched play through pretty much the entire 80s up until his end of career. And then these 3 are these 3 are the epitome of my Phillies fandom.
Okay.
You know
All
what I
right.
mean? Well, and I would have had Bryce instead of Chase. I just want you to know that. But I
Well, you're kind of a Chase hater.
kind of. I am.
okay.
Yeah, I'm kind
All
of.
right.
Oh,
All right.
well, you want me to tell you why, though?
Yeah.
Because I think the love is over. It's too much.
You're making
Yeah,
up for the
but
Chase.
now it's getting to disrespect of Chase.
No, I'm not disrespecting. I have him on the
No,
list.
I know, but it's swung so far the other way. Now it's like, ooh, what is he even good at?
So we're talking about the JT injury and who would be on your Phillies Mount Rushmore. The official
Bryce is right there, though.
The official listener Mount Rushmore is
I almost
Schmitty.
removed Chase Utley for Bryce.
You're etching Mountain Rushmore. You get that mane. You get the beard.
Yeah.
It's built
You know
for
what?
Mount
Well, you know
Rushmore.
what? And
Chase
his home.
Utley is off my Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, it didn't take much convincing. He's
Going to
always been a
Bryce
Chase
Harper.
hater.
Well, you know what? You're right.
I'm going to Bryce. I'm not a Chase hater, man.
Bryce's home in Las Vegas. He'll be a lot closer to Mount Rushmore than he is here. So you're right. He lives the closest to Mount
Oh, man,
Rushmore.
you saw Harp this weekend. Face of the league. He embraced the whole
Pandering.
London thing.
Pandering again. Pandering to English people.
I think I got over the pandering.
I am, but like we have to be able to call it what it is. He was pandering to soccer fans in London.
It's called putting on a show. He's got the showman little headband thing going on right now.
I liked it better when you were sad at the beginning of the show.
Man.
Congratulations, Bryce.
So we're talking about the JT injury and then the Phillies Mount Rushmore. We'll do the Sixers one tomorrow.
I bet you'll be fine with Embiid being on there.
If he's on there. We don't know if he's on there. Is this a female Spike on WIP?
This is awesome.
It is. It's totally. And Ike's one of my favorites, and I've spoken to him many, many times.
Yes.
And I am going to say this. I'm sorry. Probably only your mother calls you this. Isaiah Reese, you are wrong. you should never, ever exclude Lefty. And I watched him play every game, every time that he worked for the Phillies, and he's worth every chisel of the stone that they would put on that mountain. And I've actually seen Mount Rushmore. So anyway.
Wow, you've seen the
I
real
tell you
Mount
what,
Rushmore.
Spike, I knew, and I'm talking to the female Spike,
Yep.
not you, Spike.
Okay.
Certainly knew that would not be a popular decision by leaving Lefty off the Mount Rushmore. I knew that. I sort of knew that.
At least you admit it. That's what I love about you.
Actually, Spike, can I tell you just a funny Mount Rushmore thing? Our boss, Rod Lakin, asked me before the show. He said, "Hey, have you ever been to Mount Rushmore?" And I said, "Rod, not only have I not been to Mount Rushmore, I don't even know who's on Mount Rushmore. I have no idea.
You don't know the presidents?
I assume one of them's George Washington. I don't know
Washington,
Lincoln.
Jefferson, Lincoln, and Jackson.
There you go. I had no idea. I don't know. I don't even know all 50 states. What do I have to know?
Do you know what state it's in?
It's in South Dakota?
South Dakota.
There you go. There you go. Spike, are you worried about the JT injury?
I'm going to tell you this. I am very encouraged by what Ike said and the calm, mature manner that he took with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been a little anxious ever since I heard about it, but this is what I'm going to say. In the immortal words of Doug Peterson after Carson Wentz got hurt, and they said to him, "So what is your answer going to be for this situation?" And Doug Peterson very calmly said, Nick Foles. And look how that turned out, okay? So we just have to trust and believe that Stubbs is going to step up and be okay, and the Phillies can still go out there and get somebody. But I just don't understand why they know how old JT is, why they are not farming somebody up to take his place.
Well, because they are. My guess is, and thank you for the call, Spike. My guess is they're getting ready to give him a contract extension, to be honest with you. Jack, does this change your outlook? We were debating all day yesterday about whether the Phillies need to make a big move at the deadline. Now, as we approach the deadline, I don't even know if JT is going to be back at that point. Does it change your outlook moving forward about the trade deadline, whether they need to make a big move or just tinker?
Well, I think it depends. Again, it depends if there's a setback with JT. I think if he's missing, it could affect him coming back. Then they got to go get a real catcher in here. Yes, that's where they would have to make a different move there. If JT's back and playing for a little bit, trade deadline comes around, I think it could be fine.
Well, I do think the thing is, even if he's back by then and playing, I think you have to have in the back of your mind, who knows how the rest of this is going to go. Embiid looked great until one game he didn't look great anymore, and he fell the wrong way. So I still think a big deal. Do you think a big bat at the deadline for the Phillies, or do you think a tinkering? Outfielder?
Yeah.
Polar bear?
Listen, I've always liked that idea when you brought him up. The kid they have out in Chicago seems like he's on cost an awful lot.
It does.
Jack, you pretty much named every top prospect we have, so that's a hell no.
Yeah, they're looking for the Juan Soto package. So
Yeah, no.
I don't know if they'll actually get it, though. They can ask for it. I don't know if they'd get it. He's not Juan Soto.
Yeah, I would not do that. I'm okay with – it's funny because it's Whit Merrifield is what you thought you were getting, well, you want better than that.
Right. Yes, I think they need a real. I don't want a utility platoon guy that hits. I keep seeing it. 258, 9 home runs, 38 RBIs. One of those guys. I don't want one of those guys.
As long as we're not giving up one of our top 3 guys, I'm good.
Look, I don't know enough about those guys, but I do know that.
Jack, you love those guys.
I want to win a World Series.
Hugger. Yes.
I want to win a World Series.
Yes. By the way.
Yeah.
Teddy Roosevelt on Mount Rushmore, not Andrew Jackson.
There
not Andrew Jackson.
Yeah, Mr. and Mr. Smart over here. Oh, we know who's on Mount Rushmore.
Well, Ike said it so convincingly.
Well, I did. I said it convincingly, yeah.
I was like, yeah, you're right. That's definitely Andrew Jackson.
John,
I haven't even looked at my Twitter timeline to find how many people to tell me I was wrong about
probably
that.
a few.
Yes, I haven't even looked at that.
We do need a Photoshop of Ike and Jack on Mount Rushmore where Andrew Jackson would have been. John in Medford, you're on WIP.
Yeah, I just wanted to call in, and first of all, it's great having you on the air, Spike. It's been great.
Oh, thanks.
Back. Yeah, well, you're like a real Philly guy.
I try.
Yeah.
You got Jack, Suburban Jack over here.
Well, I agree with Jack that this Realmuto thing is a problem. I'm as pessimistic as he is.
Oh wow.
But I agree with you entirely about Mount Rushmore, and I think that Bryce Harper is so annoying, and he does pander. He's not a Philly guy.
Wow.
He's I'm just not a fan, and I would say I could put 10 guys before him on the list before I would put him on Mount Rushmore.
Wow.
I mean, that 1980 Phillies team, I can tell you, Steve Carlton, even Tug McGraw, I would put on there before I would put Bryce Harper on there.
John, I think that my problem with it is I think Bryce Harper could eventually be on it, but it's the permanence of what Mount Rushmore is without his story being written. I think here's the way that I think about it is if his career ended right now with the Phillies, would he be on it? And I think the answer is no. So unless the answer is yes at this point,
How could you say he wouldn't be on it? Who would be deciding it? If the fans were deciding it, he would be on it.
Right, but I'm just saying my opinion is I would have Rollins over Bryce Harper. I think Utley is definitely on it. Carlton is definitely on it. Schmidt is definitely on it. So then you get to the fourth guy or whatever. And to me, I'm picking one of the guys from 08 or one of the guys from 80. I already have two guys from 80, so I'm putting Rollins on it. Rollins is MVP, like the heart of the team, the motor of the team. I don't know. I think, thank you for the call, John. I think, Hall of Fame level player won't be in the Hall of Fame probably, but Hall of Fame level player. Bryce Harper definitely could be on there. They win the World Series this year. I actually think Bryce Harper's on there.
Well, that just cements it.
Yeah, but I think you need to be cemented in Mount Rushmore. That's the thing. It's literally written in stone. That's what Mount Rushmore is, I've heard.
But here's the argument I would make with Rollins.
Oh, yeah.
Rollins and Utley.
Yep.
Bryce is a better player than those two guys.
Sure. Yeah.
So, and neither of those guys carried the team. You may make a better argument at J-Roll as the leadoff hitter.
Yeah.
But Utley benefited from being in between Rollins and Ryan Howard.
I agree. I don't necessarily think it's about the very best players, though. I think there's a lot of things that go into it, which is why Harper was voted on there, by the way.
I agree.
Yeah.
But the only thing that separates them is the title. The championship, the World Series. That's the only thing he's a better player than those guys.
Well, and time.
Well, okay.
Because you could argue that Bryce's best years, at least at this point, he's had more good years for the Nationals than he has for the Phillies. He played 10 years for the Nationals.
Yeah, sure.
So that's all I'm saying. So I think it's, again, I'm not anti-Bryce in this way. I just don't think he's there yet.
No, I hear you.
And they have a lot of great players in their history, the Phillies. It's not like...
They do?
Well, when you go to the Sixers one, you get to who should be on the Mount Rushmore pretty quickly.
Yeah, sure.
The list isn't that long, is what I would say.
More deserving to be on their team's Mount Rushmore, Embiid or Harper?
Embiid.
Why would you say Embiid?
Well, because if Embiid's career ended right now, he's one of the 4 best players to ever play for the Sixers.
But would he be on the Mount Rushmore?
Yes.
Or see, who would you? Well, we're doing it.
We're
later
doing tomorrow. Yeah.
So I won't even get into it.
Not now.
Yeah.
Not now.
I think with Bryce, I think there has to be. I'm just trying to make an argument for. He is literally carrying the franchise. He brought them back to life.
Yes.
And has really put the team on his back as I'm proud to be a Philly. He's made it cool again to be a Philly sports fan. He's helped recruit a lot of these players that are here now. He set the atmosphere in that organization.
I agree, but so did Jim Thome.
What did Jim
Thome
not
changed?
Like Bryce Harper.
Jim Thome changed the entire attitude about the Phillies, and if it wasn't for Jim Thome, I could argue that the energy that took them, that the Jim Thome energy took them into the chase.
Yeah, but they didn't do anything with Jim Thome.
Well, for sure, but the Phillies haven't won anything. With Bryce.
They went to the World Series.
So did the Diamondbacks.
You said Jim Thome.
Yes.
It's not the same.
Well, I'm just saying I agree that all those things work in his favor.
I just think Bryce has meant more to the Phillies organization in his time here than what is on the playing field.
I agree with you.
That's why I think he has a legitimate argument to be on.
I think he has an argument. I would just say that the argument would fail compared to Rollins. But I agree with you. He does have an argument.
All right.
You're right.
This is a way to shut me up.
No, I'm
with you.
Yeah,
we got to go to break. I know it. I'm with you.
All right. So coming up next, more of we started doing the fuck.
It's okay.
I got it.
Oh.
I got it.
Wait, bring up Embiid one time. We're dropping F-bombs?
People say,
oh my God.
People say, you guys sound like you're having fun in there. I think I am. I just forgot I was on the radio.
This isn't a podcast.
Well, Jack got us into the Sixers one. I didn't want to do the Sixers one. Coming up next, more on JT. Elliott Shore-Parks joins us, and then more Mount Rushmores. It is the WIP Afternoon Show with Ike, Spike, and Fritz. I'm sorry, guys.
Yes, more Mount Rushmores.
Yes.